When did boxing become a mainstream activity? It did not used to be cool. It used to be only boxers or people who really wanted to fight or were coaching fighters. Those are the only individuals you'd see entering a boxing gym. But nowadays, it's become pretty mainstream to either do boxing, Thai boxing, MMA, etc. So when did boxing bridge that gap between being something that only the eccentrics or the fanatics would do to something that mainstream everybody could do? I say that was back in the mid to late 90s and early noughts. And I say that happened in New York City, New York. I'm actually going to give credit to one individual, one New Yorker, one former professional fighter for starting the whole mainstream boxing movement. And that person is Michael Elijah Jr. Those of you who followed boxing back in the 80s remember him as a competitor. He was a world-class pro fighter. He then suffered a detached retina and wound up, he sports this eye patch over his eye to this day. Now, after his pro career, Michael Elijah Jr. did not sit around. He started teaching boxing exercise classes. And I have to give him credit because he worked so hard to pitch his boxing classes all over New York City. I even saw one of his posters up at the Harlem YMCA. I'm not sure when he coined the name Aerobox, O-B-O-X. I think that was a play on the fact that aerobics classes were super popular back then. You remember the high top weight sneakers and the leg warmers and all of that. Well, Michael Elijah's Aerobox, patented, started to take off when he teamed up at one of the higher end gyms, not a YMCA. That higher end gym is none other than Equinox. I think their leadership realized that this Aerobox class that Elijah Day was pitching to them, and then started doing at their facilities, could become a really big movement. And in fact, it did. People started doing boxing exercise classes in every single gym. It became a mainstay. Now, the biggest difference between those boxing classes back then versus some of the boxing classes I see now is that there was no mitt work per se. You'd have a lot of people lined up like an aerobics class, and there'd be a fair amount of time devoted to jumping rope, because that's truly great aerobic activity. And then most of the class would be sort of on the spot shadow boxing, and the instructor would show and demo different boxing combinations that the participants would then try to replicate. But the goal was mostly to burn calories and stay in shape. It wasn't to try to teach anybody how to fight. Nowadays, I see a lot of boxing classes where one beginner is holding mitts for another beginner, and I kind of question that a little bit, because that is most definitely like the blind leading the blind. If you don't know how to throw a punch or throw a proper boxing combination, then you definitely do not know how to hold the mitts for that boxing combination. Now, did any of you guys ever participate in any of those Aerobox style classes back in the day? If you did, let us know what your fond memories are. If you're taking a boxing class now, let us know. What do you like the most about it? I look forward to hearing your comments.